first of all, I couldn't figure out as a kid, because at the time I was 7 years old. I was like, they just let him take his hearse into the arena. And that, if you remember that aisle was like the longest aisle of all time.
RASSLIN, that's wrestling. RASSLIN, that's wrestling. RASSLIN, that's wrestling.
It's me. It's that N to the T to the G, rolling once again with that BT double B. Yep, we got Big Trouble Ben Bishop here taking up the whole screen, and myself, Nicky the Good, coming at you with another episode of wrestling, but not just any episode, brother. We got SummerSlam tomorrow night. Yep, SummerSlam, the event of the summer, is here finally. It's what, the second biggest show, maybe third biggest show?
Second biggest party of the summer.
Biggest party of the summer for sure. And we got a special episode here today. We're going to go through the card, actually. I know we normally hit the hot spots of the week, but we got a premium live event, if I'm politically correct there, Ben.
PLE.
We got a PLE. Okay, we got a PLE coming up for tomorrow night with SummerSlam. So Ben, let's take just maybe a trip down memory lane to kick things off, okay, for this special occasion. We're looking good. We're feeling good. We're dressed for summer. I have actual flip-flops on.
Let's see. Oh, look at you.
I got flip-flops on. I'm prepared for the beach, but I want you to bring me down memory lane. Tell me about what was your first memory of SummerSlam growing up as I don't know how tall you were at like 7 years old, probably a good 6 feet.
Yeah, no, I was tired. I probably was, Nick, and there's no offense, I was probably as tall as you at 8.
So you weren't that tall, but you were for your standards.
So SummerSlam, obviously biggest party of the summer. We already went over that. As a kid, SummerSlam was really for like guys like us from the Northeast. We went back to school, ended August, early September. It was really kind of that last, it was always in August, right? It was always in August when we were younger. So it was kind of that last like big hurrah of the summer. All right, when you're watching in SummerSlam, I know my family, for a few years, we'd always get together. We'd be watching SummerSlam together, order it. Uncles, cousins, they'd all come over. We'd all get together, order a bunch of food, and watch SummerSlam. And, I kind of want to get into my favorite memory from my first real memory of SummerSlam. If I'm allowed to my co-host.
Oh yeah,
am I good?
Bring it.
Let's get going. So, as many people know, I started watching wrestling. I was a big WCW guy. So from like 98 and 99, I really only watched WCW with a little bit of WWE. I really started getting to WWE like later 99. So my first real SummerSlam memory was SummerSlam 2000. And of course, what everyone remembers from SummerSlam 2000, yeah, you had a good triple threat match towards the end of the card, but the real main event of the show was the first ever TLC match. The Dudleys, the Hardys, Edge and Christian. We were in my living room down in Rhode Island, and we had everybody hooting and hollering over that match. It was unbelievable. Everybody falling through tables, going off the ladder. You had everybody making run-ins, Lita coming in. Edge and Christian finally scaling the ladder. Devon, Jeff hanging off, grabbing the titles. It was a absolute car crash, but it was the best car crash I've ever watched. It was the first, like, it has been imprinted in my mind. I watch that match every now and then, probably at least once or twice a year. I'll just rewatch it because of just how much I loved it, how the memory I had of it, of all of us together. And it's just I'll never forget that's one of my favorite matches in WWE history.
It's one of those matches that brings you back to a point in time.
Exactly.
Like you can spot it, you could feel it, like what you felt during that time. And for me, and this is going to age me a little bit, I'm a little bit older than Ben. I'm not as tall as him, but I'm older than him. And the fact that he's shouting out 2000 is just depressing for me. I'm dressed very positive right now, but right now I'm just not feeling great because of the old age gimmick. But for me, my first memory was because I had an older brother. So I got an older brother. He's my brother, Joe. He's 3 years older than me. So I was watching whatever he was watching. So for me, 1992, right? The Undertaker's entrance on the hearse. This was when Taker was like babyface too. So it was just like the coolest scene I've ever seen. First of all, I couldn't figure out as a kid, because at the time I was 7 years old. I was like, they just let him take his hearse into the arena. And that, if you remember that aisle was like the longest aisle of all time. You think Roman's entrance is long now? No, 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 my friend. They had an actual car, and it was like taking forever for them to get down there. But he had like the crow or the bird, and like it was super creepy. But he was a good guy, and I just remember watching that as an entrance and just seeing just like those old school WWE entrances where just they didn't have the Titantron back then, right? They just had like the gorilla position. They had the little entrance point, and then that was it. And it was just a massive sea of people. And obviously, during Turkey's entrances, they always panned in on the crowd just to see everyone's reactions. And little Mark, Nicky the Good back in the day in 1992, I was equally as scared as excited. And that is my first SummerSlam memory. I'm excited for SummerSlam.
It's now, just Nick, before you go, do you remember the match?
Kamala.
You remember the moment. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. Brother. Oh,
but
yeah,
you remember the moment. You remember the character. We went over this in prior shows. No. You remember the moment and the character.
Kamala was like freaking out doing his little gyration thing in the ring. So that's going to bring us into our next segment. All right. Now let's get into the next segment. It's a SYXX PAC challenge, baby. SYXX PAC challenge. So the topic this week is what are your favorite SummerSlam matches? Okay. So we alluded to it a little bit earlier in the show. Okay. All right. So here we go. So I'm going to go first, actually, because last week, Ben, you went first. I'm going to go first this week. Here we go. So my first pick in the SYXX PAC challenge of your favorite SummerSlam matches, I'm going to go with, I may get some flack for this because it's my number one. But I'm going to go with 1994. Touch that nostalgia button. Undertaker versus fake Undertaker. Because to me, this is my favorite match. Throughout the entire night, they're trying to find the real Undertaker. Right? It's like there's an ongoing investigation. There's like suspense. Like, is he actually going to show up? Well, he did. And when he did, Vince McMahon was like, oh my goodness. And you got that sweet silhouette of him in the entrance. To me, that match, while it wasn't a great match, right? No one's going to be like that was a classic by any means. But in 1994, for Little Nicky the Good, that was my favorite match because I believe there was a fake Undertaker. Okay. I believe there was another dead guy walking around. All right. So that's my first round pick in the SYXX PAC challenge. Ben, I'm going to kick it to you.
All right, good one. Good choice there. Now, as I previously mentioned, I really started watching WWE really in 99, 2000. So a lot of mine are going to be from 2000 on. And number one, I was not going to let you do this to me again, Nick. I was not going to let you take Big Sexy away from me. He's mine. He's my guy. I got to go with 2011, Kevin Nash returning and attacking CM Punk. Yep, just over the barricade, two big legs, got the hair jet black. Looking good coming over that barricade, over the top.
I thought I was gonna get some flack for my 1994.
No, I'll take it. I'll take the flag. He didn't tear the quad that night, but he got over that barricade. He went and he attacked CM Punk. Big Sexy was back. Big Kev is back. And that's my number one pick. I wasn't letting you do it again.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked.
Coming through the crowd again, like it's 96.
Yeah, like
96 at Nitro.
And the jet black hair look.
Everything great. The jet black goatee, the hair, man. Come on now.
You could brother. You could have put that in your third round. You would have got it.
No, I wasn't taking a chance. I wasn't taking a chance.
Oh, I see. Because you thought strategy wise that I was going to try and finagle one. All right. So my second round pick in the SYXX PAC challenge is going to be what I consider to be maybe the greatest wrestling match ever. And it's Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect at 1991, I believe, right? 1991. When I hear like that's the greatest match of all time thrown around nowadays, right? I just say, go watch that match. The way first of all, Mr. Perfect, one of the best, if not the best seller of moves ever. But Bret Hart, even like just a takeover, a bulldog holding on to the head when he's trying to throw him off the ropes. It was as real as an actual wrestling match could look. Absolute classic. And to me, if you want pro wrestling to feel real to you and to believe what's going on in the ring, you watch that match. I have watched that match. Probably it's in my top 5 of most watched matches of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and you could tell during that match, you know, I'm watching it back because I'm a AG again, Nick. I was only 1 at the time.
Whoops.
And it was, you know, you could tell that both guys just had the motivation to have the best match. That was right when Brett was on the come up in his singles career. He was starting to come up, of course, heading, you know, Mr. Perfect, he was also had to prove something, and they just went out there and they're like, we're gonna kill it. We're gonna have the best match on the card. We don't care about any of the bigger names on the card.
Yep.
We're gonna, so people are gonna remember, and you can see that. You can see that in that match. That's a great pick.
What do you got? You're up next.
All right. You want to talk about selling?
Yep.
Brother, you want to talk about selling. Number 2 favorite moment in SummerSlam history. Probably going to catch slack for this as well. Hogan Michaels, 2005. Sean HBK was having
just a
none of it.
match.
None of it. And he was selling his ass off.
We got a whole segment for this, Ben. We got a whole segment you could have put this in. The whole thing didn't work for him, brother.
Oh, it is unbelievable to watch. I just could not take your eyes off what Shawn Michaels was doing that night. And you can call him a jerk, call him what you want. I'll never forget that moment when he took the boot from Hogan, and he just did a flip, he bumped, jumped up, took another flip bump, and you can see it in Hogan's face. Like, what the hell?
Hogan was so pissed. You could see how angry he was, and he was like, man, so like, because I don't know what went on behind the scenes. I'm sure something happened, because HBK is, he's a professional. He ain't gonna be doing that for no reason. But if you want a guy that can be like, all right, I'm gonna stick it to the Hulkster tonight, no one's gonna question Shawn Michaels at that point in his career.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
that match, nothing else matters but Shawn selling.
No.
And the crowd, you could look at the crowd. People were like perplexed. Like
it's like they didn't know what was going on at first, and then they started like kind of getting it.
Is Hulkamania that strong? Is Hulkamania actually that strong?
The little Hulkamaniacs for getting fired up, but I think people were like, "What the hell is happening?" But I think they started like at the end they're like, "Okay, I think we're getting what's going on." I mean,
midway through, you started to realize that Shawn's not going to stop doing this.
No,
like at first you're like, maybe we're just trying to get Hulk like super over here, but like, nah, we were like, okay, clearly something's going on here right now. I'm almost jealous of that pick now. I kind of wish I had that pick. Take a little sip of my berry power bomb here.
Oh, I'm gonna have some too. Oh, it's time. It's Vader time. It's time for round
Vader
3.
Time. It's who's your favorite power bomb, by the way? I just took a sip of berry power bomb. What's your favorite? Well, that's a jackknife. That's a jackknife.
The jackknife. My favorite power bomb variation.
Power bomb.
Oh yeah. Well, it's still gonna be the jackknife. But I do the meat pop drop, which is a power bomb variation. I don't know the real name for it. We don't need to know the real like markish name for it. It doesn't matter, but that's what I call it. It's the meat pop drop now, Dominator, if you want to call it that. But there's some good ones. I love a good sit out power bomb.
Yeah,
love a good sit out power bomb. I love D'Lo's low down or sky high. The sky high.
Yeah, you better recognize. Speaking of recognizing, I'm coming in with my last pick of the SYXX PAC challenge. And I'm going to go with, I'm not going to go. All right. You mentioned the match earlier in the show, so I'm not going to use that one, but I am going to use 1995. If you know, I'm a big mid-90s guy, if you haven't caught that drift. In 1995's Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon ladder match. Mm-hmm. That, just another classic between those two. It just felt like SummerSlam, man. Like it was at that time, 1995, you still looked at SummerSlam almost probably as the second biggest show, I'd like to think. I think it was bigger than the Rumble at that point. Now I think it's kind of where like SummerSlam, like there's been so many pay-per-views now, like, but back then, like SummerSlam was like, okay, like if you didn't win at Mania, you didn't win your title there, like SummerSlam, it's almost as equal. They put on just such another classic. These two were just meant to be in the ring together. And to me, it's just, and Shawn Michaels gear, I think that's the gear they used on his action figure that came out that year. I think he was wearing like the blue the blue, right? If I'm correct. I think he was wearing the let me look up to just like make sure I get that screenshot before all the marks come out and try and correct
it was the blue.
Yeah, that's the blue, and that's the ones he's wearing it when those I'm pretty sure when the action figures came out, that's what that was modeled off of.
Yeah. Those are nice.
Just incredible. So that's mine. 1995. The mid 90s just have a special place in my heart. What can I say?
As I can see it, and I can see that you're going more for the matches. You pick two real big time, like work rate type matches there, and I'm going for the most absurd moments. And this is, I'm having a tough time because I'm between two, and we're gonna give honorable mentions here at the end. But I gotta go with 2014, Lesnar and Cena, Suplex City. That's my third pick here. We have never seen Cena get dominated like he did in that match. I forget what the number was, 25 German suplexes or whatever. The Suplex City bitch. That was all born that night.
Authentic too. Authentic.
Authentic.
Like, Lesnar's not planning any catchphrases.
No,
I'll tell you that.
No, and it solidified Lesnar, for his second run in WWE, because he came in and it was like, every now and then he was, but this solidified him as an absolute monster. Came in, suplexing Cena out of his shoes, out of the pumps all night. We've never seen that. We never, Cena was always the one. And I was ready for it. I'm like, all right, here it comes. Here comes Super Cena. He's just gonna fire back up. He's gonna fire. We never saw it, and the show just ended with Brock just taking 90% of that match and just tossing Cena around. Cena also one of the best sellers of all time, I think. Very underrated. But yeah, that was a moment that will always stick in my mind from SummerSlam.
You got some heaters here because that was also a time where like Cena didn't lose. Yeah. And like, no, he sure as
not like that.
He sure as hell didn't lose like that.
No.
Like you needed like 10 run-ins to beat Cena.
You needed a damn like rocket launcher to beat Cena.
You needed everything to beat Cena. And Brock just came in and was like, nope.
Yep.
Nope. Not today. You're gonna.
It was a very good piece of business, and I thought that was great. Let's get a little bit of honorable mention here.
Honorable mention. We're gonna get heat, obviously, but we mentioned it earlier in the show. We said the 2000 TLC 1, right? Yep. Obviously, 2000 TLC 1. I got here. I also had the unsanctioned match in 2002 of HBK versus Triple H. I love HBK, man. I just just. It's not a coincidence that he's in a bunch of these matches or people that he's worked with before, because we're just talking about the best of the best here. What else you got for honorable?
Yeah, honorable mention. So I got 3 of them here. I had Team WWE beats Team Nexus. I know a lot that's going to catch heat because I know a lot of people didn't like how that story ended. But I thought the up until the match, I thought the storyline, even though it was shorter than I thought it could have been, I loved that whole progression into that storyline. Yeah. That was a really fun summer in 2010. And also shout out to Heath Slater, now Heath Miller, great guy, good buddy of mine.
Entertaining as hell.
Entertaining. And in person, he's even more entertaining. Yeah. He's a hell of a guy. Shane McMahon falling off the Titantron versus Steve Blackman. Of course, got to throw that one in. Yep, the Kendo's just like and just falls backwards. Yep. And last one, because we're big fans of this guy, we're big marks for him now. The Dom Mysterio custody battle in 2005 with Eddie and Ray. So
yeah, and what's crazy is being a parent now. You look back at that storyline, I'm like, Jesus, man.
And no, happy that Dom is getting his now. But that was funny. Again, great story, just great little story. He had people invested. Eddie was a hell of a heel.
Is Dom Mysterio is he like the youngest kid to ever be in like a storyline like that young, like in the history? Obviously,
remember, was he younger than John Cohen's kid that won the tag title with Braun Strowman?
Oh my God, yeah. I think he was younger than him. Mae Young's hand and Mark Henry, their hands.
Oh, he
came back actually. Yep. So that might be it because
the baby that Snitsky booted into the crowd, right?
Yeah, but the hand was actually like born.
That's
so
true.
Mae Young and Mark Henry's hand was born on that day, And then all those years later, I think it was like a Raw reunion. They had the kid dressed up as the hand,
big hand.
Probably some like junior writer or something. They probably dragged him like, yo, put this on. We need you to do a quick segment.
Oh, that was probably an extra from the town they were in, brother. That was
that's an extra making the towns, brother. Did you bring your gear? You don't need it. Throw this.
Yeah, you don't need
it. All right, we're going to move into our next segment there. We'll see who won that draft, that six-pack challenge. We'll put that, obviously, you guys know that there's a graphic now, so we'll kick that out when the show goes live. But now we're going to move into a quick, that's not going to work for me, brother. One of the hottest segments in all of podcasting. And this week, we're going to talk about something specific to Hogan. It's about, Hogan loves the beach. It's summer. SummerSlam's tomorrow. What does not work for Hogan, for the Hulkster at the beach? Ben, I'm going to go to you first.
Well, we know there's a few things that Hulkster really cared about. He cared about the 24-inch python.
Put the shades on for this.
He cared about saying his prayers, taking his vitamins. He had the little Hulksters with the workout set.
Yep.
But he also cared about one other thing, Nick. He cared about the tan. So if you remember the Hogan tan from 1992,
leather, baby,
over tan,
leather,
and he never went out of the house unless he was completely bronzed,
making Matt Cardona look like Sheamus.
No, there's no question in the 92 Hogan tan, one of the best tans in wrestling history and really of all time. So when he went to the beach, he had to be oiled up, he had to be tan. And from not the last time, but the Dynamite before that, we had Adam Cole in the back with MJF. You know what doesn't work for me, brother? If you go back, and I like the guy. I like him. He's great. He's
one of the nicest people.
One of the nicest human beings in the world, wrestling aside. Doesn't matter. One of the nicest guys. Adam, brother, who did your tan?
Yeah, man.
We gotta work on that, my man. I saw the knuckles at the bronze, and then your arm was pale, and then you had the bronze, and then more pale on the shoulder. We got to get that all over tan, brother. Come on now, come on. You got to get who was doing it? Who was doing it? Three blind mice. Come on.
I could just see Hogan just putting the 24s around and be like, "Listen, kid, listen, brother,
come with me.
Come with me. Let me show you the way. You'll be world champion by the end of the week."
That's mine.
That's not gonna work for him, brother. So for that's not gonna work for me, brother. Things at the beach, jet skis. You know why it's not going to work for me, brother? Because if you remember before WrestleMania 9, Hogan had a little accident apparently on a jet ski that knocked his eyeball out of its socket, caused major damage. So if I'm the Hulkster, brother, I'm banning jet skis from every beach, across the globe, brother. If I sold out a stadium or an arena in your town, jet skis are officially banned, brother. Not going to happen on my watch because I need to show up. I can't let Bret Hart, go up against Yoko, and we have to do some schmaz to get the belt back on the Hulkster so that we can sell out arenas and keep this federation afloat. Okay? So jet skis, not going to work for me, brother. They're out.
Didn't they do for one of the SummerSlams? Remember the vignettes they would do before it with Lesnar F5 and the Shark?
The Shark, yeah.
Wasn't someone on a jet ski?
Probably, but that's banned now.
That's banned now. I don't think Hulk was involved. He wouldn't have worked for him.
The YouTube police are listening. Get that off because no more jet skis. The Hulkster has banned it. Before we move into the actual card for tomorrow for SummerSlam, I also want to just mention something, Ben, that we obviously, it's 2023. We're in a different world now, but when I was a little Hulkster, a little warrior, they started bringing in those bikini contests, SummerSlam, Sunny, Sable, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention that one of my best memories as a little dude, a little Mark, was just watching, you started to see some beautiful women on television during this time. Mm-hmm. And it was all the divas. You had Sunny, you had Sable, Ivory got in the mix. And WWE, when they started making that turn towards getting a little bit edgier, SummerSlam became it was the show where hey, if you want to see the people you see on TV all the time in bikinis, SummerSlam is probably when that's going to happen. So I just wanted to mention that because I know someone in the comments is going to say.
Well, we know that the C4 gets the blood flowing, but let me tell you that those years, the Divas, they got the blood flowing.
Yeah,
right? Now they got something.
You got different Divas too, because
I had a little different of Trish and Lita and Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler, and we got the magazines. Believe me, we had them all up on the wall. Yeah, all up on the wall. Oh,
got the magazines, the Raw magazines. You know, you had them all. You open it. You had the Sunny would have like the layout for the calendar. I remember putting it up on my wall. And my mother coming in, she was like, "That's not going to work for me, brother. This is a Catholic household."
Oh, I had Trish, I had Deborah, Stacy Keibler, Stephanie. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Ben. We're two married men. Let's move on.
We are.
Okay, we're in our 30s. It's time to grow up. And by growing up, let's talk about more pro wrestling. We're going to get into the actual card now for SummerSlam tomorrow night. I'm sure you guys, you're absorbing your previews. You're looking up and down the card, trying to figure it out. So we're going to touch upon a few of these matches here. So let's talk about first, Ben. I'll run through the card. You tell me what your initial thoughts are. Let's go with a hot topic. Logan Paul versus Ricochet. What are you thinking for this one? What do you think? What can we expect?
Well, I mean, don't blink, right? This is going to be a high flying affair, but I think they're going to pull something out that's going to be a moment that will live for a long time, as they did in the Rumble, being in the middle, doing the double springboard. So I'm sure they got something up their sleeves that we're going to see, and we're going to be in awe. I think obviously Logan Paul is one of the biggest surprises in wrestling in the past few years.
Sure.
How fast he picked this up, and of course being with the guy Ricochet, one of the greatest athletes in pro wrestling history. I'm sure we're going to see something special there, so I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, to me, it's just like Logan at this point has become a must-see guy when he's in the ring, and he's going to be on the big events. So he is an attraction at this point. And Ricochet is the perfect dance partner for him. I'm happy for Ricochet because I feel like he is among the high flyers in the business. I think he is in the very, very top. Like, if you want someone to complete and execute every single time, I cannot recall like a Ricochet. I hate saying the word botch, so I'm not going to actually use that phrase, but like we're just a little bit of mishap or someone missed the mark by a little bit. He's perfection when it comes to his art and what he does well. And I think this is the perfect dance partner for him. I'm really excited for Ricochet to have a spot on this show. This next match, we talked about it a little before we hit record. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. Ben, what are you thinking right now about this one?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of rumors out there, and I don't know if we can always believe everything we hear from the ones like Maeve Deltzer, but I think that this might be allegedly Ronda's last match. We might not see her after this. So could we see an all-time performance from Ronda? We've seen her have great matches with like Charlotte Flair, with Becky. So is this going to be another one of those? Could it be? I don't know. But I'm invested. I think I mentioned this on previous shows. I'm invested in this story with Shayna. They know each other. They have a history. And Shayna has some piss and vinegar in her right now. She's kind of, she's got an edge to her again. So very intrigued to see what happens. I don't know which way I'm going to go here, but I'm intrigued.
What I love about this match, and obviously, based on like what you hear in the sheets and everything like that, you think Shayna is going to come out on this one, obviously. But to me, it doesn't necessarily matter because I'm just happy that Shayna Baszler, who was a killer in NXT, is finally getting a little bit more seasoned and a seasoned story. And this is perfect for her. Like, this is what I think she was waiting for. She needed to dance with Ronda, right? Them as friends, that's great. But I think them being, going toe to toe is the perfect things that she needs. Ronda, whatever happens. I still enjoy when Ronda Rousey's on the screen, right? People can say what they want, but to me, it's like she does bring a little bit of a level of legitimacy no matter what. She has her pedigree and whatever. But for Shayna, they're using SummerSlam as a way to hopefully catapult her to, being a threat to like a Rhea Ripley in the women's division. And I think that's why I'm really excited for this one. It's telling a story. And also, Shayna can go. And I think her and Ronda knowing each other and having their backgrounds, I think we're going to be surprised by what they got for us. Let's go into this is another non-title match. But this is one of the biggest matches on the card for sure. Brock Lesnar versus the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. I'll go first here. This is obviously the blow off here. It's the third match. I think everyone was saying like, oh, I can't take another Brock versus Cody match. Listen, when they make their entrances, you're going to forget all about that talk. And that happens every single time. Every single time I hear people saying, like, oh, Brock again. No. As soon as you hear the opening riff of his song, as soon as you hear that, wrestling has more than one royal family, you're going to be locked in, because those two can tell a damn story and they can go in the ring, because Brock's one of the best in the business. So is Cody. Listen, we're trying to get Cody to 40. Okay. Brock is there to do Brock things. You know what you're getting. And Brock's like Mr. SummerSlam. Like, he shows up at SummerSlam. So I'm excited from this match from it's going to be awesome. But also, like, I think Cody wins this one. I just don't know how. What do you think?
No, I don't know either, and that's what I like about it, is that we don't know. We have no idea. Going into it blind, I don't know which way they're going to go. I'm sick of the Brock slander. I'm over it. I think Brock Lesnar is one of the best wrestlers of our generation.
Maybe ever.
I don't want to hear that he doesn't put people over. I don't want to hear any of that, because the evidence is there that he does. So Brock, obviously two of the best storytellers right now in wrestling. Cody's got a lot of momentum. He's still over as hell. The loss at WrestleMania has not hurt him a bit. I know the haters and the losers are going to be mad about that. It hasn't hurt him. He's still on top of the world. He's still, people are going crazy with the whoa. They're going nuts every time he comes out. And, the documentary just came out. So we're going to see that, I think they're putting a lot behind him. I'm gonna pick my prediction. I think it's Cody.
Quick question though before we move on. Do you think that Orton could show up here? Because that's a way you could have Cody lose and not be hurt.
That is a way.
Puts
or
I
think, you know what I think? I'm gonna go with Cody goes over, Orton comes in, gives him a big RKO. We get a nice second of the year rivalry for Cody until we get him.
Not bad. I'll sign up for that. Next match on the card, we got Gunther as the Intercontinental Champion with his long ass title reign versus Drew McIntyre. Returning Drew. What do you got for me, Ben?
Well, Gunther right now is my favorite wrestler. Everything he does is just extremely believable. And they're even kind of leaning into the fact that he has that unspoken charisma that right now, and they're trying to do that riff of Imperium with him and Ludwig. And I like that they're kind of leaning into that, but still, I don't want. Again, he has a personality. His personality is unspoken. He has unspoken charisma, similar to like what a Jeff Hardy had. He didn't have to talk. He didn't have to, but he had his aura is his character.
Yeah, you don't need to force it. You don't need to force it. You don't need to like lay up things for him. He could take care of himself.
It's like Brock. It's like Brock too. He doesn't need to talk. He's just a badass guy. So this match, hard hitting. It's the type of match that I like. Two big guys. We're gonna it's gonna be a big chop fest. We're gonna have big meaty men slapping meat here. So this is probably, of all the matches on the card, I'm probably looking forward to this one the most. I think Drew coming back from his injury has got a lot. He wants to get back to the top. So it's gonna be a good match. I'm gonna go with Gunther on this one, but I think we're gonna get a hell of a match out of these two.
I'm gonna say my main takeaway here is I really hope Gunther keeps that belt. I don't want this title reign to end by any means. I think there's so much more to do, and the other top belts are not ready to move around quite yet. And if you're going to take a belt off Gunther, yeah, sure, you're going to have a rematch and everything like that. I just don't think it's needed. I think when you're ready to move Gunther to that next level, that world title level, that's when you need to have something planned for him, because you can't slow this guy down. You can't the iron is still hot with him with that IC title. So I'm hoping that Gunther comes out, but yeah, this is going to be the most brutal match on the card by far. Like, it's going to be brutal. Like, it's going to be Sheamus level. Like, their chests are going to be looking like Ben's shirt. Okay. They're going to be looking like you just got berry power bombs. Okay. The berry power bomb can.
I finished my Nick. It's gone.
Well, you take bigger gulps than I do. There's like 3 of me. So whatever, man. I'm sipping them both right now. Brother. The pipe of the veins. All right, moving on to the next card here. We got Seth Rollins as the champ versus Finn Balor. We have talked about these two at nauseum the past 2 weeks, because anytime we ask the audience, what do you want to talk about? It's Judgment Day. It's Seth Rollins. I'll go first here. I think this is it. This is the moment we're waiting for. It has nothing to do with the title and everything to do with Judgment Day. You got to have something going down with Damian Priest here. If you don't, I think it's like, if you're not going to do it at SummerSlam, when are you going to do it? When are you going to, you need to make an impact for this match. If Finn wins, okay, great. He wins. But what happens with Judgment Day? If Finn loses, okay, great. But what happens with Judgment Day? To me, Rollins is there. He's the champion. I'm not worried about him, win, lose, or draw. The stories with Finn, the stories with Judgment Day. I'm excited about the fallout. I'll be watching very carefully as to the shenanigans, if any, that happen around the ring.
Yeah, this is the work rate match on the card. This is going to be two of the best wrestlers, two best workers in the world going at it. And it's going to, I think my prediction for it is Finn goes over, and then you got big old Damian Priest coming out, walking with that belt, with all that swagger that he's got, walking to the ring, hitting that, what does he call it? What does he call his razor's edge?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm a bad mark right now. You guys tell us and yell at us. But yeah, no, I think we're gonna get big DP coming out and just laying waste to his old stablemate, and I think we're gonna see a disbandment of the Judgment Day here. I like what you're saying, because it's in a big stage. This is what we need. We need something.
It has to happen on the big stage.
Crazy thing to happen.
No more of these, like, just don't waste these moments, right?
Yeah.
Our guy BW, he's been talking to Brandon. He's been saying, like, he's just felt that the WWE. Yeah,
I know. Talking about?
he says that the WWE has just been wasting these big moments from time to time. Like, hey, like, give it to us. We want it so badly. I think we get it at SummerSlam. I think we get it when it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship. We're going to turn it over to the women again here. So we got Asuka versus Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's Championship. I don't know who comes out of this one. I have no idea where they go with this. I don't know where they want to go with the belt, with the title. I don't know. I really just don't know what to think about this match.
How many has Charlotte won now?
Getting up there, man.
I know. I got
14.
Is it 14?
Yeah.
They're going to get 17 with her. I think she's going to beat. I think that. To
me, it's SummerSlam. They're probably going to put the title back on Charlotte.
I think they want to hit that. They want that lineage. Or dad had 16. They're going to build that up eventually, or it's going to be number 17, because Cena didn't do it.
Right, Cena hasn't done it,
and it's almost looking like it's not going to happen, because I don't know if he wants, and I think he's like, I don't care to. So I don't know, but I think we're getting to that point. Charlotte's getting, Charlotte's, I think, on the backside of her career currently, which I don't know. I don't know, mate. Like, it seems like it, because she's got a little bit less, working a little bit less. So,
and we're not saying that in terms of her, like, she could obviously do whatever she wants in the ring. She's one of the best athletes there are.
Absolutely.
We're saying that, like, she obviously has been not on TV all the time.
Much, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason.
Right.
I don't know,
but we're just
taking some time off. So, but yeah, I think, she is one of the best women's wrestlers, and really one of the best wrestlers of this generation, just men or women.
And what I'll say to that, speaking of with this match, you have three up the top. Like, I would say that Asuka, Charlotte, and Bianca, you can't really ask for much more. Bailey, obviously, you could slide in there. You could slide in Becky, and so on and so forth. But let's move on. So the last match that we're going to talk about here is we're going to talk about Roman Reigns. Okay, so hold on one second, Ben. Hold on. Before we get into this, I'm going to anoint myself the tribal chief. I'm going to anoint myself the tribal chief right here of this going over this part of the card. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, main event Jey, trial combat for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. What are we thinking?
It's a tough one. I mean, my brain tells me that Reigns is gonna be and still, but my heart's saying, is it Jey time, baby? Is it time? Is it time for Jey to take the reins here? No pun intended. It's time for him to be the new tribal chief. Is it? Okay, I don't know. Again, this is what I love about wrestling right now. I have no idea. If this was like mid 2010s or so, like I'd be like, okay, we know what's going to happen. Right?
I think we're in for a major swerve or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something we don't expect. I just cannot see them putting the title on Jay. It's too far away from WrestleMania. Like WrestleMania is so far away right now. Roman's I mean, yeah, man. Look, I have no words. I don't know where to go with this. The story is so perfect for Jay.
Think about this. Hollywood right now is locked out. It's on strike. Think about this, Nick. Who's got a lot of time?
I mean,
could DJ show up? Could
listen? We talked about it the other day. The biggest match pro wrestling could ever have, is The Rock versus Roman Reigns. And the good thing about that, though, is that you don't even need the title for that match. But the issue with that is that Cody's still going on, and that 40 to me is Cody's time. If The Rock versus Roman happens, it's going to be at a WrestleMania. It will not be at any other event. If it's at any other event, I know nothing. I know nothing. I probably know nothing anyway, but I legitimately will know nothing. I think that has to happen. The Rock has to at least have some type of involvement at some point. But yeah, they're on strike. He's available. You could just get a seed planted. You could get a seed planted somehow. And that's all you really need to kind of put the bow on SummerSlam.
You hear, if that happens, as you talk about, that place is going to erupt. We're talking Pontiac
Ford Field.
We're talking about Pontiac Silverdome in '87, brother. That's what we're talking about.
SummerSlam is a place to do it. SummerSlam is a place to do it. It's just tough because all these stories have to make sense. And if Cody keeps talking about his story and like,
I think they have a problem, but I think it's a good problem.
Yeah, so it's a very good problem.
There's a lot of good things that can happen. You're gonna get backlash no matter what, right? I mean, people are gonna be pissed. If people don't get what they exactly want, they're gonna get pissed. We saw it at WrestleMania. So you're gonna piss people off, but you're gonna have a lot of people interested, and the ratings are showing that. So we'll see.
For now, I am not the tribal chief, so I'll be taking off. For those of you watching on YouTube, I'm taking off my tribal necklace. And that's it for pretty much our SummerSlam special. Now, we're going to finish the show with Get Your Shit In.
Yeah. So yeah, we had, I got a bunch of matches coming up in August here. I just wrestled in Maryland. I just wrestled in Chicago. I'm going to match here in Georgia with Primetime Wrestling in Cave Spring, Georgia, brother, the territory. And a ton of stuff. I'm going to be in Chicago a lot. So maybe we'll get that. What's his name? Brendan Walker. Yeah, we might get him to come to a show or two.
Maybe
we'll see. Maybe I'll comp him a ticket. But other than that, I mean, we got a ton of good wrestling right now, folks. I mean, everybody, I think wrestling as a whole right now is over. We got a ton of stars. Stars are being born again, reinvigorating even me. A big mark, but literally and figuratively a big mark. So enjoy it all. A lot of good things are coming. And I think it's in one of the best periods it's been in a very long time.
Yep. And for me, we got SummerSlam tomorrow night. It's just going to be a great show. I feel like WWE is delivering every single time they have a premium live event. Now you finish the show, you end up scrolling on Twitter until, you're ready to pass out because they're just putting on classic after classic. They've really just been killing it. As far as us is concerned, you can follow Ben at Big Trouble BB everywhere. You can follow me at Nicky the Good, and then obviously follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestling, also on TikTok at Wrestling Barstool. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. We are approaching 50,000 subscribers. And Ben, do you have anything else to say?
Not much, folks. Keep the shades on because the sun never sets on a cool guy, and never let the sun set on you.
Later, Marks.
RASSLIN, that's wrestling. RASSLIN, that's wrestling. RASSLIN, that's wrestling.